right, so Jake and I are fishing the push water of this rock garden here, and I guess what you observed me doing some sculling draws.
Yeah, the sculling draw, which I'm not very proficient with.
Okay, let me go over the mechanics of it with you, and I'll walk you through it. It's important because where we're placing, and you have a spinnerbait on, and I have a buzzbait, you really want it to get into the spots that are like super difficult to hold position. You know, you ask yourself, is it really hard to place a bait there? If the answer is yes, that's where your unpressured fish are going to be. It's where fish know, hey, if I hang out here, I don't get poked in the face with a hook. So the sculling draw, and we've pulled our motors up because we're relying on the paddles in this whitewater. Let's just do the regular draw stroke. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your paddle and put it in the side, on your side, but get your offside hand really high over your head, and you're going to insert the blade as far out as you can, and then draw it into the side, right? And then you're going to, you just moved it out to the side. That's a regular draw, okay? That just moved you towards me a little bit. The sculling draw is more like spreading peanut butter on bread. You take the blade, and as you move this way, you angle it there, and when you get to the end of that sideways stroke, you change it and go there. So it's I can't do this with the camera and that, but you're just going side to side like this. Again, I want you to do it with a fairly high angle, so the shaft is closer to 45 degrees than like 30. So that's moving you towards me. Try to get your paddle blade in the water a little bit more. So, do you see the drip ring? Stop for a second. You see the drip ring?
Yeah.
I want you to slide the drip ring up towards you a little bit more. Actually, mine needs to come up a little bit too. If you're gonna put your paddle blade in all the way, get your blade all the way in, yep, but you're not getting the drip ring wet, and I want you to go slow this time. Slow, but in going slow, see how the top of your paddle blade is still out of the water? I want it all the way in. I gotta move back from you. You're still being effective. You're still coming at me pretty good. You're moving sideways, which is the point. Paddle blade all the way in. Do longer strokes. Yeah, you're moving sideways. It's hard to tell because we're being sucked down this way, but practice it and try to be less splashy if you can. And by that I mean it's a more smooth and long stroke with your paddle blade all the way in the water. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I'd pull up into some slack water and just practice. Lift your head and look around and say, hey, am I being effective in moving sideways with this boat? Meanwhile, I'm going to go over some mechanics of one-hand paddling. It's another thing that I'm going to do a lot when we get down into that whitewater. I'm holding the paddle blade in the center, actually on this lock part. It's one of the reasons why I like a bent shaft, because my elbow braces right in there, okay? So that when I sweep stroke on this side, and I'm really locking in that elbow to be able to turn me. And here, I'm just turning around one-handed. And this is important because you're going to be doing some things with your other hand, maybe not filming for a YouTube channel, but hopefully you have a fishing rod in that hand and you'll be casting and you'll be able to quickly make that adjustment and really just turn yourself around. On the opposite side, and this is almost impossible for me to teach, but I'm basically putting my elbow on the rod holding hand on there, and I'm leveraging it with that same middle grip, and I'm doing the same kind of, sweep stroke that doesn't require both hands on there. I'm just using my elbows as a means to do these sweep strokes. And that's really all I'm doing is sweep strokes to point the nose of the kayak in the right direction so that I can hopefully put this camera down and make a cast and have it, have my buzzbait be where I want it to be, which is usually in a really difficult place to put it. Hopefully that helped with the one-handing. It's pretty critical. It's why I don't like a straight shaft. The bent shaft really makes one-handing better. And it's like they stopped making them. It's like they decided, oh, that's just a whitewater. That's not a kayak fishing thing. Wrong. Well, wrong if you're getting into whitewater. Like that. There's a lot of fish in there. Let's go get them.